For more than 2 decades, it was the Labor Day event in southern Wisconsin, Labor Fest, drawing more than 10,000 people to Janesville. Labor Fest at its height was a 3-day event. Now, it's no more. As News 3's Dave Delosier tells us, the void Labor Fest leaves is a stark contrast to a 24-year history.
This was the perfect place for Labor Fest.
To see it now, you might forget.
On a day like this, or on Labor Day in years past, you generally would have seen, tens of thousands of people. They'd be lining the street now, and it'd be a very active place and a very fun place.
But this year, the best seats are left to the crickets. And that's because this year, Labor Fest was abruptly canceled. For 24 years, Labor Fest in Janesville were pretty much synonymous until the closure of the GM plant and the loss of thousands of auto worker jobs. That signaled a change.
It's sad, and I think it still was a bit of a shock, but I don't think it was a huge surprise, given what, the diminished role of labor and how Labor Fest had gotten smaller through the years.
Scott Angus is the retired editor of the Janesville Gazette, and he says while no one is saying exactly why Labor Fest was canceled, you can trace it back to the 2008 closure of the GM plant.
Well, somebody knows, but it hasn't been discussed really why this year's Labor Fest was canceled. But you have to think partly it's because of the diminished role of organized labor in Janesville and in southern Wisconsin and in Wisconsin as a whole.
But just because there was no Labor Fest,
we're having a parade.
Out in the 4th Ward, there weren't 10,000 people or floats, but you don't need that for this kind of parade.
A surprise parade, because we just said, come and be here, and we'll see what happens.
What happened was a good old-fashioned neighborhood parade.
Trying to have fun with the neighborhood. Since there's no parade downtown, we thought, why don't we do one?
Organizers of Labor Fest say they're working to bring it back next year. But until that happens, maybe a new tradition, the surprise parade, has been born. In Janesville, this is Dave Delosier, WISC News 3.